Hey everyone, my name is Sam and welcome back to Green Acre Homestead and welcome back to part 4 of our DIY greenhouse build. In today's video we're going to do some official, really fancy pants cross bracing for the walls, and then we're going to add our double top plate and begin just barely framing the roof. Let's go. Come on. Don't sit down on the job. Oh, good for nothing. Battery swap. And we're back.
We're getting like a dozen good
It would have been very easy just to take the boards that were already in place and just screw them to each of the studs and lock it in and call it done with that. But being a woodworker, I like to make things a little bit pretty with wood. Also, thinking ahead to some possible future modifications with the greenhouse, I wanted to recess those diagonal braces into the wall, or at least make them flush with the inside of the wall. That way they wouldn't be in my way inside the greenhouse. The overall steps for doing this is pretty straightforward. Having a clamp to clamp the board diagonally onto a stud and then a pencil mark to line everything out and draw it was hands down the most important tool of this part of the project. The most detailed part of the cut was actually doing the angle pieces in the studs. I had to make sure I set my circular saw to a depth of 1.5 inches or just a little bit over so that it would really truly recess the boards in the wall completely. I had to be careful as I was cutting that diagonal line as well to be right on my pencil line because I didn't want a sloppy joint. Now the screws that hold the boards together does a lot for rigidity, but I also wanted a wood joint there as well. And again, being a woodworker, I kind of wanted pretty joints of wood too. I am covered in sawdust. That circular saw doing the angle cuts along with the wind, you just can't help but just wear it. So, wear it proud. With all the diagonal braces done, I could then move on to doing the double top plate of the wall. This is where you take the wall joints where you have one coming this way and another this way, and you put a board on top that kind of overlaps the two. This also makes the top board of your wall double thick and twice as strong. It's very important whenever you put your roof rafters on there and you want it to be strong and stiff, and you know, that's just what you do. Putting the top plates on was pretty straightforward. I put the boards up there in place, marked the ends to cut off with my pencil, zipped them off, screwed them down, and kind of worked my way around the greenhouse perimeter doing that. Spending the extra money to get full length timber, like 12 foot long, 16 foot long, is well worth it. So I don't have any joints in my walls or my top plates that might be weak points in the future. I'm running out of time today. It's pretty late in the evening and I've only got enough time to barely just start framing the roof. I want to go ahead and put my uprights on the gable ends, and these little boards are what are going to hold the ridge beam in place until all the roof rafters get put into place and start doing their work too. Well guys, that's going to be it for this part of the greenhouse. I can't go any further without fully committing to finishing framing the roof. I don't want to put the ridge beam up there because all it probably will do is sag, and that just won't be good. So I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for part 4 of the greenhouse build. I appreciate you guys coming along. If you have any questions, comments, or something I didn't cover, or just questions and comments in general, leave them to me down below. Appreciate them, and we love reading all of them. We'll see you guys next time on the homestead. Here's a little sneak peek of some future stuff in the greenhouse. This is a food grade plastic 55-gallon barrel. I picked up 20 of these off of Facebook Marketplace. There was a distillery in the city that had these for sale on a super good deal, so I snagged them. My plan for these are to be grow beds for the greenhouse, whether it be, put that where you guys can see it. So my plans for the barrels are going to be grow beds for the greenhouse, whether it be vertical and just full of water with nutrients in there for plants to grow kind of hydroponically, whether it be chop them in half, make them self-wicking sub-irrigation beds, or whether it be cut them in half lengthwise and do some kind of an aquaponic system, or just a longer, more rectangular self-wicking bed. Either way, these are key to giving me some large containers to grow in at a very cheap price. So this is one. I drug it up here the other day. The other 19 are still down there next to the truck where it parks, so I didn't want them up here in my way, but I did want to see how much space these barrels are going to take up, and I was very pleased with seeing how small it feels in the greenhouse. In addition to grow beds, I'm probably going to use a good portion of these for thermal mass as well. They will be full of water, and they will act as batteries of a sort to collect heat during the day and radiate it at night. This won't be very beneficial in the summertime, I don't believe, because this greenhouse is going to be pretty fairly wide open for ventilation. But when the thermal mass will come into play will be in the wintertime, in the colder season, when the sunlight still comes in, it can drink up the heat and then radiate it at night. There's a lot of other science projects in my head as far as solar powered water pumps, collector with black pipe, tons of different ideas. So stay tuned for that. If you have any ideas, if you know of greenhouse systems that work, that maybe you have at your place or you've used commercially that can be adapted to a small scale situation like this, I would love to hear about that as well. All right guys, take care. What does this mean? All right guys, take care.